With the sound of the bell, we begin our seated meditation. Coming into a comfortable sitting position, allowing ourselves to be still in this time and this place. Taking a moment to feel securely seated, supported by the chair or the cushion. The posture is erect but not rigid. We simply want to be able to breathe without feeling restricted in the front of the body. Arranged in a position that we can comfortably hold for a time. And now, in this moment, beginning to notice the body and how it feels from head to toe. Taking a few moments to scan for areas of possible tension or concern. With the mind's eye, we can explore from the top of the head, slowly down through the face, the neck and shoulders, the chest and abdomen, and each of the limbs. Permitting relaxation into any areas where we find tension. Breathing in and breathing out. With each cycle of the breath, softening the muscles and bones as we become more and more centered and aware of our inner landscape. And if you feel ready, beginning now to observe the natural breath. A gentle watching of the breath without judgment or interference. There's no particular right or wrong way to breathe. It is simply the way we find it at the moment. You might notice the breath as it comes into the nostrils, observing its qualities. Is it dry or moist? Cool or warm? It may have its own rhythm, fast or slow, shallow or deep. At times, we may become aware of spaces between the breaths. Now, bringing the attention to the sensation of the breath as it passes through different areas of the body. You may be aware of it as it enters the nose, or perhaps for you, the sensation of the air in the throat will be the most vivid. You might notice the rise and fall of the chest, or perhaps feel a subtle movement of the rib cage in and out as you inhale and exhale. For some, there's a slight rise and fall of the belly. At times, you might have a sense of the whole body breathing, riding waves of breath as we fill and release. The classical practice is to focus on the sensation of the breath as it passes into the nose, and perhaps to feel each exhalation as the air is blown out across the upper lip. You may find that for you, the breath is best experienced elsewhere, perhaps the chest or the belly. And ultimately, you should focus your attention on the breath wherever it speaks most clearly to you. Calmly bringing attention to each breath in and each breath out, holding us in this moment, the only moment in which we breathe. There is no need to influence the breath. We simply let it take its natural course and watch it lightly, without judgment. At some point, you may notice that the mind has wandered. This is natural. The mind is a thinking machine, nearly always busy with thoughts. When we find ourselves distracted by the ideas and stories that run through our minds, we can simply notice them, turning the attention back to the breath. All meditators experience distraction. We may notice that our periods of stillness and calm feel pleasant, but meditation is equally this act of bringing the attention back again and again to the chosen focus. breathing in each present moment. Now resting on the rhythm of the breath as we breathe in and breathe out. Sensing each breath moving into the body and allowing relaxation with each exhalation. As we sit, thoughts or feelings may come and go. We notice them without becoming involved. At times it can be helpful to lightly label a thought, planning, telling a story, feeling sad, then returning our focus once more to the next breath. as we breathe in and breathe out, at times we may also be distracted by discomfort, an ache in the back, the legs going to sleep, or some other thing. You might choose to make a note of the experience, perhaps taking a moment to explore the sensation, its qualities, its boundaries. Perhaps sending some softness to that area with your out-breath. And returning your attention then to your focus on the breath. If discomfort becomes too much of a distraction, it's okay to mindfully adjust your position and then resume your watching of the breath. Continuing to breathe, returning after each distraction to the sensations associated with the next breath. And what does it feel like in its beginning, in its middle passage, and at its end? Breathing in and breathing out. As we sit with the breath, thoughts and feelings also come and go. They rise and pass away like summer breezes, arriving and fading. And we sit still, noticing the breath. Sensing the passage of each breath into and out of the body, noting sensation in the nose, the chest, and the abdomen. At times when we have been sitting for a while, we may begin to notice impatience, wanting the sitting to come to an end. And this too is experience. We can allow its presence. This is what it's like to feel impatience. And releasing that, returning our focus to the breath. Each breath bringing us back to presence in this moment, and then in this one. Breathing in and breathing out. At times, strong emotions arise. We may notice them, allowing their presence, and then returning to the breath, to this present moment. In time, this practice of noticing our thoughts and our feelings, and then returning to the breath, can give us a sense of perspective on their importance, can give us a strengthened muscle for turning away from thoughts and feelings that don't serve us well. Each time, returning to the breath that is always there like our home, sustaining us as we breathe in and breathe out. Sitting in meditation on the breath, we may at times catch sight of that small, still place that seems to be our essence, our presence. Remembering that the breath is always there, in your busiest moment, in your time of greatest need. There is always that home to return to, even for just a few moments. At the end of your sitting, may you carry your grace and mindfulness back to the world with you, bringing presence to each new moment.